ladies and gents, welcome to War Thunder with Mags, and welcome to my first impressions of the MiG-15bis. Now, the MiG-15 in the past used to have one of the most ridiculously broken flight models in the game. It wasn't a UFO, it was the UFO. One of the estimates I read by a person who compared the real historical flight performance data against the aircraft in-game had it at 20% above its performance, real-life performance parameters in almost every single category. It was ridiculously overpowered. However, in one of the more recent patches, just prior to 1.37, this aircraft had a massive flight model readjustment and restoration to historical values, or near on. Now, the aircraft has received a number of tweaks since that initial patch. Apparently its roll rate was too low and a few other things were adjusted on it as well. I'm not an expert on the real in-detail, in-depth nitty-gritty on the MiG-15bis' flight performance from history, but from what I've been able to read on it and what I've seen in-game, the aircraft is not a far throw from its historical counterpart now. Now, in real life, the MiG-15 was an excellent aircraft, so why does it get a reputation in-game if it's performing close to its historical capabilities of being a bad one? Well, it's not. I think a lot of it may be old players that used to fly it with its original flight model back well prior to patch 1.37. We're talking 1.35, 1.33, before guys just started messing with the MiG-15's flight model. And I think a lot of players are just displeased that their superfighter has been reduced to its real-life capabilities. It's sad to see it, but people will complain about things like this. Now, the second thing that's been going around and doing the runs on the MiG-15 is, well, there are two in-game. As you can see here, I'm flying the German MiG-15bis. I'm mainly focusing on flying this one because I still have 262s to unlock and my Russian tree is complete. So flying this aircraft means that I'm also grinding the aircraft that I've yet to complete. The Russian one has obviously been in the tree longer, and the rumour that's been going around is that the Russian MiG-15 is more powerful than the German MiG-15. It's not. Stat for stat, in aircraft performance, the German MiG-15bis and the Russian MiG-15bis are identical. Every single upgrade applies exactly the same changes to both aircraft. The reason why there is an appearance that the Russian aircraft is more powerful than the German one is because the Russian aircraft has been in the game since it went into open beta. There are a lot of people that have this plane unlocked, that have it fully upgraded and elited at this stage in time, where the MiG-15bis has only just come out in 1.37. It's still a new plane. There are still people grinding upgrades on it. As a result, without all the upgrades, you're never going to perform match for match with an aircraft that has all the upgrades available. The second thing is, a lot of the German players now flying the MiG-15bis have never grounded the top of the Russian line before. They've never flown the Russian MiG-15bis, so not only do you have planes from the Russian side that have been in the game for longer and have all the upgrades applied to them, you have pilots that have been flying this aircraft for an extended period of time. The Russian players are still, the German players rather, are still learning. Now, I've just joined combat, made my first boom through. F9Fs. Now, these things are the bane of the MiG-15. They're highly manoeuvrable, something the MiG-15 is not. The MiG-15 is very much a boom and zoom aircraft. You've got to pick just the right attack angle in order to be able to get shots on target with this thing. And it does require a lot of that climb rate being used. The climb rate on the MiG-15 is phenomenal, by the way. At 8,799 feet a minute stock, it is ridiculous. It'll sit on 10,000 feet fully upgraded. Lining up my next target for a boom, closing in rapidly. Going to try and get rid of this F9F, just keeping the nose down. I need to get as much airspeed on as I possibly can. High speed passes are the key to flying the MiG-15. And it passes overhead. Now, this is the second thing with the MiG-15. If you miss your target, you cannot really turn back on them. You've just got to climb back for altitude and set yourself up for a second pass. You cannot turn with targets. The second you do, you'll die. Lining him up for another shot. Diving through, and just not quite enough lead. Close, but just not quite there. Boom out the other side. Go back for altitude. Try again. Now, while performance, stat for stat, the German MiG-15 and the Russian MiG-15 are identical, there are some differences between the two aircrafts in regards to how they fit into the trees. First things first, the German MiG-15bis will set you back 990,000 credits. The Russian one will set you back 1.75 million initial buy. Pass over the top was presented with two targets then, couldn't get a yaw angle on either one, so just boomed through an exit. The second is reward rates. Why RP for RP, both are 100% earning aircraft. The German has a 380% bonus to Silver Lion earnings. The Russian aircraft only has a 370% bonus, so it's 10% less. Now, while the German MiG-15bis will set you back around 760,000 credits less than the Russian variant, it is slightly more to repair. You're looking at 12,200 Silver Lions to fully repair a stock German MiG-15. You're looking at 10,590 to repair a stock MiG-15bis for the Russians. And now I'm deep in the turn with this Sabre at the moment, just trying to get an angle. Damn good pilot, this one. He's sticking low to the ground and he's using this Sabre's manoeuvrability as hard as he can to try and stay out of my guns. I get the boom on, he immediately turns over hard. I just cannot get the lead on him and pulls out to the side. All I can do, pull back into the vertical. Roll the plane, track him as he passes underneath me. Just level out, I need him to turn off, there we go. Now I can pull it back into a slight climb. Loop over an aileron mid-loop in order to select a new angle so I can get a good angle of attack to come in on him. Air brakes deployed. Just trying to slow myself down enough that I'll fall in on his tail. Trying for some lead shots. Miss, miss, miss. Again, take it back into the loop to try and follow him through. Just aileron rolling back and forth, trying to select the best angle I can. Just wasn't going to get one, so I had to dive away, fold up the air brakes, get a little bit of distance so I could reselect. Why he was sitting directly underneath me, if I tried diving on him, I'd never pull out of the dive and I'd end up smacking the ground. This is the big thing about flying the MiG-15, you have to have patience. I have the energy advantage, even if he's upgraded. I've got him, I've got to wait. And there it is. Just take my time, let him get into position, anticipate where he's going to be, and let him come to my guns, not the other way around, and I take the kill. And that was the last player alive for the match. All that's left is AI, so I'm going to deal with these now. Just closing in on the two B-17s. And this is the firepower of the MiG-15. The ballistics characteristics of the aircraft are not great, with two 23mm cannons and a 37. It is hard to get the guns on target. I tend to use a shorter convergence range, and I try and get a high angle silhouette, which works really well in a boom and zoom aircraft. I can generally get a very good top angle, so I can accurately hit. But when you hit with those guns, most of those shots missed then. The 23mm went past, a single 37mm hit the aircraft and just tore the wing straight off it. Bring it back around on the second B-17, pull back on the throttles. And just split that one in half. Fire off the last 37mm to clear it out and head RTB to get some more ammo. There are still two AI up that have disappeared on the map. Now the A5 pilot I just shot down wished me a nice game and congratulated me on the shot. I had to send back a good game. That was a really fun dogfight. Flying this thing is really intense. It does take a lot of effort and a lot of concentration to bring it on target, but it's fun. The plane itself is very, very, very good despite popular beliefs, as you can see here. Now, landing the MiG-15, it does get a little bit floaty and it doesn't have the speed control that the F-86 does. As you can see, I've got the landing flaps down here, the front wheels touch down, but I had to fold the flaps up to get it to actually put the actual underwing wheels back on the ground. It will require you do that at high speeds. The Sabre has better air brakes than the MiG-15. It can pull itself up a lot harder in order to make it easier to put on the ground. Landings in the MiG can be a little bit hairy, I've noticed, unless you can bleed off a lot of speed. However, if you do bleed off a lot of speed, you're sitting very, very, very close to the stall point, in which case you're running the risk of crashing the plane. And from here I took off and spent the next 10 minutes flying around trying to work out where the hell the AI were until I found them glitched out on the enemy's runway. So I had to duck through, kill them, and that shot ended the match. Now the results for this match was first place for the team, 4 kills, 1 player and 3 AI, 91,670 Silver Lions, Final Blow, Terror of the Sky and Bulletproof awards, 3,427 mod research points and 6,854 air research points. On a premium account, no double. So to compare the MiG-15bis against the Germans' other 8.7 aircraft, the CL-13A, hit for hit it makes more credits, but it doesn't earn as much RP. And speaking of battle ratings, this is the last difference between the German MiG-15bis and the Russian MiG-15bis. The German MiG-15bis is an 8.7 fighter. The Russian MiG-15bis is an 8.3. Why the difference? Well, I think it's just another case of the BR system gone wild. Thankfully, it doesn't really make a difference in-game. Why the Russian MiG can theoretically face aircraft at a lower level than the German one, I've never seen it happen in practice. Every time I've seen a Russian MiG in battle, guaranteed the enemy team has F-Series Sabres. So I've never seen an imbalance caused by it yet. If it was to get down tiered to 8, I could see it being a problem. At 8.3, honestly, annoying because of the theory, but in practice it makes absolutely no difference. So, the MiG-15bis, both the Russian and German variants, very, very, very good planes. I really do like flying them, but they do require patience and planning in order to make them perform. If the F-86 Sabres were Kung Fu masters, highly manoeuvrable and hitting all targets with lots of little hits, the MiG-15bis is a sniper. Cold, calculating, takes its time, but when you pull the trigger, the enemy just goes away. Till next time, click like if you do, subscribe if you want to see more, fly smart, fly safe, and I'll catch you in the skies.